All right, so once you're done making your walls, we want to display them so you guys can see what's inside and you can show me that you've done it correctly. We're going to start off at a floor plan view. So let's pick a floor plan view where we know there are walls. We'll zoom in on it, and I'm going to pick a wall here just to show you I've done the same thing here. I have a wall that has some layers. I can edit my type, and we'll show you there's structure in here, and I've done the same sorts of things that you've done. Now, we could just take a screenshot and show these layers. This doesn't really show me necessarily that that wall specifically is these layers. And I want to show you how to make a new view, because this type of view that we're going to create, this section view, is one that you'll be required to make on your final presentation materials for the building that you'll be making later on this semester anyway. So it's a good thing to know how to do. It's a good thing for us to have this video up in the channel so you can access it later when you have to do this again. So I want to show you how to make the view and how to annotate it today. And it's good for you to get the practice in making this. So we're going to get to the floor plan view where there's walls. And in this case, we care about the exterior walls. As I said before, the interior walls, we're typically going to do those interior partition walls, which are these ones here. I made my own because I had specific specifications for this house that I wanted the interior walls to be a certain way. But typically these interior partition walls, you can pick the one that's the right thickness for your building, and that'll be just fine as well. So let's keep it simple. I'm going to show you two different types of walls. I'm going to show you this one here that's just a wall with no doors or windows in it, and then this one here with the windows, and show you how it looks different when I make a section view. Anytime I have to make a view, I go to View, and I find the one that I want to make. In this case, I want a section view, and section view is right here. Makes it easy. So I click on section view, and I'm going to click outside, and then inside. And there I've created the section view. So the symbols that show me that there's a section view, there's a large bubble here, and then this is the end. If I click on this, how far is that going? Pretty far. If I click on this, I get to see how the section view looks. Let's go over to my project browser and we'll take a look at the actual view itself. So my views are all separated here by these different sections, and I'll find sections here, and section view section 1 is now available. Let's go ahead and take a look at what that view looks like. Okay. So I can constrain this a little bit to show me specifically what I want to see. It's going down. This house has 2 levels. Your walls that you've done are a little bit less elaborate, so we don't have to worry about that too much. I want to start by turning on a lot of information that's currently not turned on. I've shown some of you this so far. I want to make sure we all see this at the same time. There's 2 options down here at the bottom that give me more detailed information about my building. Number 1 here, my detail level. If I want to show this kind of information, I want my detail level to be fine. The detail level course shows me very little information. It's mostly for layout and building. Medium will show more information. It's for if I want to see where specific things are. And then fine will show me everything. All my layers in my walls, all my doorknobs, all of my little bits of everything will be shown when I do a fine detail level. I like to work in fine detail level because I'm very particular at OCD about making sure I've got everything the way it should be. So I like to see everything. I typically work in fine detail level. And also down here, visual style. I'll show you the difference between shaded and realistic here. Let's start with shaded. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit here to my wall. And I'm going to constrain my view a little bit by clicking on this box. I can bring this down. And I'll bring this up. I only want this one wall. And then these bounds here, I'm going to bring this in. I don't need to see the door or outside. I just want to see this. Let's change this from shaded here to realistic. You see how I see a little bit more about the wall when I switch from shaded to realistic? Shade is just showing me a color that's been chosen for that material. And that color may not be the most accurate color for the thing. In this case, gray has been chosen for that wood on the inside of the wall. Shaded is supposed to be a relatively accurate colored representation of what we're seeing, but it often isn't. I will often switch to realistic to see, hey, is this looking good? Consistent colors is another one that's supposed to be similar to shaded, but sometimes different. You can switch back and forth and see if one looks better than the other. If you find that the wall you've created has shaded, looking layered enough where you can see all the layers and it works, great. If not, I find that realistic is often our best option. All right, let's go back to our floor plan here and see what we have. Now, it's a little hard to see, but now that we have constrained things and brought everything together, we can see this dotted line here. Do you see this dotted line, this thin little blue dotted line with the arrows on it? Can you guys see that at all? Okay. You'll see it better in the video than later too. This thin little blue dotted line is showing me the extents of my section view. Now left to right, we affected in the section view by bringing that in a little bit. Okay. Top to bottom, we can't see here, but we brought that in our section view. Okay. Imagine there's this 3D cube that cuts through the house. Shows me what I can see. Okay. Top to bottom I brought in, side to side. But now the depth of how far it goes into the wall is now what I can see on my floor plan. Now, that's not really going to change much on this section view. But you see I can bring that in and out. This wall is consistent pretty much all the way through. But if I bring it up to here, let's take a look at my section view again. That's what I see. Let me just adjust it a little bit. I'll bring it out. Still seeing the same wall. And as soon as I bring it to cover that closet now, you see how it changes? So the depth of how far it goes back, it's like how far out I can see, how far my vision goes. So that affects what I can see in my section view. Let's do a second section view here, over here with the windows, and you'll see how that makes a difference. Delete that one. That's fine. And now we're going to make a new section view over here. Always click outside to inside. So always outside, then inside. So we click out to in. Now, it's facing the direction I don't want it to face, so let's go ahead and select this. And I should be able to, not let me go that way. So, over here I can rotate. Oh, flip it, there we go. Flip is these two little icons here. Flip the section view. Now let's see if you can notice the difference between a section view that looks like this we'll make it be fine, realistic. Bring this up, this down. All right, so that's this versus all I do is extend it a little bit deeper. You see how the window is there? Now I can select it. It's kind of affecting my section. So be careful where you put your section view, what you want to show, what you don't want to show. For your section view, we want to keep it for this one specifically, we want to keep it very nicely, very tightly constrained. And we just really want to show a chunk of your wall. So keep that box nice and small, and your section view will then be just a hunk of wall here. All right, so now we need to show those layers. What I like to do is select the wall and make sure I can see this. Maybe I'll make a screenshot of it or write these down. But each of these layers that exist here need to have an annotation. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers. I'm going to annotate those then over here. I'm going to do to annotate, text, and then I've got lots of options in my modify place text box. The one that I prefer is this one here. This is a two segment leader line text box. Let me show you what that looks like. I'll select it. You start by clicking where you want the arrow to go. I want it to go on the very outside of my wall. Give it an angle. Nice little flat line there. Click, and then we type. That's huge. Two things that affect text size. One, properties panel, text size. I can make it a little smaller. If I feel like that's an okay size, I can leave it alone. If it's still too big, I select off in the white space and I change my view scale. My view scale affects the size of everything on the sheet. Going down makes it bigger. Going up makes it smaller. And let's see here. I like that size. So combining changing text size and view scale to get the size of things that you like. Make sure everything can fit. All right, so I got vinyl siding, and then let's see here, air gap and plywood. So we're gonna go annotate text. I like to keep things lined up, and do you see, as I get close here, I get a little connection line there showing me that everything is lined up. I get that lined up. I get that lined up. Air gap. And for some reason, it's still defaulting to 1/4 inch, so I'll take it small. All right. And next is my plywood. And actually, this here. Air gap is here. Plywood is here. And then softwood lumber. Board. All right. Now I got it all annotated, all my different parts are there, and that shows me that I've done everything. What have I done wrong? Anybody tell me? What's wrong about this whole thing? Anybody see it? Every one of these tags is wrong somehow. They're all wrong in the same way. What did I do? They're not in capital letters. These all should be all caps. Keep that in mind. Not going to take points off for it, but it's something you should keep in mind as you're working. All right. Questions about how to create and annotate a section view? Okay. Make a section view, annotate it, then make a screenshot of it and submit that for your project. How do we make a screenshot? You don't take a picture with your cell phone. That's not a screenshot. Hit the Windows key and type snip. New. Save. Save it somewhere. Submit this file. All Windows machines have that same program. Save that file, submit it. Inventor lets you save pictures. Revit does not let you save pictures quite the same way. So we have to make this into a sheet, print the sheet, as a PDF, the whole thing. It's not worth it for this specific project. We'll do that for future projects, but for this one, just get a picture and submit the picture. All right? All right, get to work.